Well, good evening, and welcome to the Sports Empire Network. I am your host, Freddie Henderson. Hey, this show has been in the works for a couple weeks now, and I'm just going to say it's straight fire. It is fire. You're not going to want to miss this show. The three shots of podcast, and this show right here, you're going to see a little bit of laughter. You're going to see a little bit of high emotion. You're going to see some serious talk. It's going to get serious on this podcast. This is just a regular podcast. This better than first take, better than undisputed, better than first thing first, better than all of it. And you know what? Unfortunately, it's not just my good looking self on. I'll also be joined by a co-panel. I think they're pretty much good looking themselves. But I'm gonna introduce the cast real quick. I'm joined by my brother down there in Memphis, Tennessee. They call him Big Tom. What's up, Doug?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. We don't have a lot of time to talk. We don't have a lot of time to introduce myself. Most of you know who I am by now. If not, you will get to know me. It is showtime. And let me go ahead and give you rule number one. Whenever you see Freddie Henderson and the sensei, who you will meet very shortly, come together, this all you need to know. The crowd goes wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready. Here we go.
Now, I want to give a special shout out to my sis. I've seen her grow from, her just doing her podcast on the ground up, her doing a show called the Sports Senseis. And even though they're the queens, check her out, Sacramento. She's been covering the Sacramento Kings. And I'm telling you that she's big time. She's big time, big time. And it was a privilege to get her on the show. No more bragging about her. Oh, Doug, you got something else to say?
First mistake of the show. I'm big time. Nobody else. Get that straight. Carry on.
No, I understand. The one and only, the sensei. Sis, how are
Oh
you
man.
doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you, Phyllis, for the great introduction. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. I know the show is gonna be big time because we got big time. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I already know what's going on with this situation, bro. You know how we get down when we hop on shows together. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Phyllis.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Let's get it, you guys. First topic of the night, the debut in the show. We're going down there to the Big D, Dallas, Texas. And no, not for football reasons or anything like that. First off, I want to shout out to the chat, shout out to the viewers. Make sure you follow us, give us a subscribe on the Big Time channel on the Empire Sports Network. Follow the Sensei. Sensei, tell them where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram, sensei_33, or on Facebook, which is under my regular name, Alana Trap. So just look me up. All my stuff from the ground up stuff to Sports Senseis to the Sacramento Kings coverage, it will all be on both of on all of my social media websites. So make sure y'all
Yes,
follow
sir.
me
Yes,
and
ma'am.
check me out.
There we go. First topic, we're going to Jerry Jones, but not Jerry Jones as the 70-year-old man, as the 14-year-old man. That's where we're going to start. Yes, we're bringing it back into time, but not for good reasons. So a photo leaked a few weeks ago um, of Jerry Jones at a protest. And everybody know, Jerry Jones grew up in Arkansas. We all know what those people represented back in that time of day. Um, Jerry Jones got criticized about it real hard, um, because hey, we live in a society where they're going to come at you when you're wrong. And instead of Jerry Jones attacking the situation, to me, he ran from the situation. To me, he kind of wanted to dust his with the carpet. And so, not just him, but the media as well. It took LeBron James going to his media session after a basketball game, pretty much saying, "So hey, you guys, I'm pretty much disappointed in you guys because when the Kyrie Irving situation came up, you guys was ready to blast him. You guys was ready to ask me the question. This is a LeBron that has been the media have questioned him about Donald Trump. They have questioned him about a lot of things that happen in the world. So I know a lot of people say, oh, he shouldn't have been asked that question because he played basketball. But ladies and gentlemen, he's been asked things outside of basketball many of times. Um, Doug, this is your team, brother. You know the Cowboys better than anybody else on this show. You covered Jerry Jones quite some time, sir. What was your reaction to this?
First of all, since we're gonna talk about the Cowboys, let me talk to my moves. Get this piano out of the way. Here I come. Now let's go to work. I got time for all that. All right. So let me, since we talk Cowboy talk. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this does not have anything to do with the Cowboys. So to all my viewers that follow me, you're gonna hear something probably a little strange. Now, let's go ahead and just get this out the way. Yes, the pitcher is old, no doubt. But guilt by association has to come to the forefront here. This is what I have said so far. That picture that you see, and I'm not worried about the young man there that had the cigarette in his mouth, and you could just tell he ready to go to work, and the person to the right of him, you can already tell what time it is with those. What that picture represents for Jared is that he was just there. That picture does not indicate or prove anything, but he was there. That's what it was. Now, this is what I've always said. I'm sorry. I said what would have been interesting is if the camera kept rolling. The question would have been, did Jerry scream at them brothers there? Did Jerry, did he scream obscenities? Did he use the N-word? What did he do? And because of that, you can't kill him because of that, because if we were in the court of law, we'll just be in the court of public opinion. In the court of law, you couldn't get him for that. So let me fast forward, though, however, now I'll move out the way. You then have to ask about Jerry because what they're accusing him of is being a racist. I'm not saying I don't know what he is. This is what I will say. You have to judge him afterwards. So let's go up to the moment. Let's look at the Colin Kaepernick situation. What was his response? What was his response with the George Floyd episode? I didn't hear nothing from him. I didn't hear nothing from him. I heard about the bending on the knee, and yes, Jerry bent with the team on the knee, but really that wasn't about joining in with black folk. That was more about with saving the brand, because all those sponsors were with the Cowboys, and if you didn't go ahead and go status quo or something like that, you just been down. Don't do it toward the anthem because people are losing their sponsorship. So when you start thinking about the George Floyd incident, I didn't hear nothing from him. Most of all, here's the other thing. And check me out here, y'all. And I'm sorry I'm going a little bit longer, but you got to get this out. Why didn't we hear from the players during this picture here? The only player that spoke up was Dak Prescott, and that's because he was asked. Why didn't I hear nothing from DeMarcus Lawrence and Donovan Wilson, maybe Ezekiel Elliott, Micah Parsons? Why didn't we hear from them? Why didn't we hear from none of the coaching staff? Because it was already set up that Jerry Jones, who owns all these media guys that work for the Cowboys, I would bet and say, look, we're not answering no questions about this situation, and do not ask the questions to these specific people because you just might get an honest answer. See, when you ask Dak Prescott gonna save face. I told y'all this is 3-shot podcast. We ain't holding nothing back here. We're gonna call it like this. Dak Prescott is a corporate company employee, and he gave the corporate answer, and now everybody's got that, and now they want to sweep it under the rug. And kudos to LeBron James for bringing it out because they killing Kanye. They killing Kyrie. They talked about it 3-4 weeks in a row every day. Jerry Jones, 2 days, swept it under the rug. Brett Favre, you only talked about Brett Favre for about 3 days, swept it under the rug. Kyrie, every day, CNN, Sesame Street, Electric Company, everybody, everybody talked about Kyrie and Kanye. Why can't we get the same publicity or the same energy toward this picture here, which says a lot? I'm done before I go off.
All right, Sensei, what's your reaction?
Um, well, I'll say this. I'm not surprised that I saw Jerry Jones in that photo. I'm not surprised that he has a photo like that floating around. I wouldn't be surprised if there's been more racist incidents that involve Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the old saying of a tiger never changes his stripes. Is Jerry Jones is the epitome of that, because if you look at just the timeline of how Jerry Jones has reacted to certain racial injustice issues or just issues that involving Black people, period, outside of them being football players, it tells you everything you need to know. Him saying he was curious to see what's going on is cap. And like Big Time said, I would have been real interested to see what would have happened after if that camera would have kept rolling past that picture. Would he have pushed himself to the front to really see what was going on? Would he have been a part of what the guy in the front with the cigarette in his mouth? Because he, like you said, he looked ready, like he was trying to go. Would he be on that side of things? Like, I'm just not surprised by this at all. I'm not surprised by any elder white owner that owns a sports team having something against them as far as it pertains to race. It doesn't surprise me. This is who these people are. As long as we, as Black people, entertain them, and we don't speak out, we don't require, or we don't, put their feet to the fire, they're okay. But the moment that you get to calling names, you get to stating facts and stating truths, then they Kyrie you, then they Kanye you, then then you're exiled, then you're crazy, then you need to talk to somebody, then all of these things. So this is a sad reality and a sad issue that all of American sports have. There are a plethora of Jerry Joneses, a plethora, and I can guarantee you, Jerry Jones was like the only person that was probably in a situation like that. I guarantee you, if you start pulling cards from some of these owners that have the same age, they're around the same age bracket as Jerry Jones, you'd be shocked to see what you find, because it's a lot of the same thing. So the fact that it took LeBron James to, in a sense, challenge the media and say, hey, I get asked about every social injustice or social issues, period. It don't have to even be social injustice, just social issues, period. But the moment I need to be or I should have been asked about one of the biggest owners in sports that owns one of the biggest teams and most recognizable teams in sports, all of a sudden nobody has nothing to say.
There you go.
And then when I bring it up, then everybody wants to scramble like, oh, well, LeBron. No. Let's keep that same energy. You didn't want to ask me about that because you were afraid that I was going to say something that you didn't like. You didn't really want to hear what I had to say because the concept of shut up and dribble, that's real. Catch passes and keep running. That's like, they don't really want to hear what we have to say. They hate they hate for us to be educated about us, because the worst thing that we could do is rally the troops and band together and go and really take this world on for what we're owed. That's what they don't want. So that's why he wasn't presented that question, because they know how powerful LeBron is. They know his influence. They know he has the power by just saying something to shift the focus or just shift the atmosphere completely. That's why he wasn't asked that question.
Even Jerry Jones know it, because even when Jerry Jones responded to what LeBron James said,
he was very careful in his response. Yeah, very careful in his response.
I'm gonna piggyback on something real quick. And Mr. Tommy Leroy Westerman Jr., I want to thank you for giving your thoughts in the comments. But I want to reply to some of your comments. I don't think nobody on here called him a racist, but we did raise the eyebrow on a lot of the moves that this guy had made. I mean, let me take take you back into time, sir. That's 14 years of old, but we have some recent things that he's done. In 2013, he was fined by the NFL from some racist remarks. 2017, he was fined from the NFL for some racist remarks. Doug brought up when the Colin Kaepernick thing popped up when he took a knee. Matter of fact, there was reports that he told his players, if you take a knee for the Dallas Cowboys, you cannot have that star on your helmet. This is a guy that time after time after time, he have not gotten it right. What I would have respected for Jerry Jones to do, um, I think I know who commented, but I think that's Gene that put up the last comment on. By the way, but what, uh, but what I wanted him to do, he would come out and say, you know what, I was 14 years old. I'm not that same kid. I'm in a better position now. I'm all about equality. I'm all about empowering um, people outside of my race. I would have loved for him to do that, but instead he ran from the question. That's what he did, ladies and gentlemen. And then Mr. Tommy comes up and said, if he was a racist, he wouldn't have a black quarterback. Sir, um, let me remind you, Dak Prescott helps make a lot of money for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is all about the money. He's all about the money. So that's the reason why Dak Prescott is the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
And
you know
the
what I
thing
thought
is,
it was.
no, what I was
My
gonna
brother,
say,
what's
like
up, G?
the thing is too, Jerry Jones is a racist. Most
Yeah.
most owners are racist. Just because they have that's him saying, well, he has a black quarterback. That's the equivalent of white people saying, well, I have black friends. It's the same thing. Just because you have black friends does not mean that you truly care about black people or black people issues or what black people go through, because it doesn't affect you and you can't relate. Jerry Jones pays black people, yes. He employs black people as far as people on his team, absolutely. But that is for the benefit of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones cares about Jerry Jones. At the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys puts money in Jerry Jones' pocket and keeps him rich and keeps him in the status quo of where he's at. He's never hired a black coach. He's never had anything positive to say about any black issue or any social injustice issue. And let's keep it all the way honest. Dak Prescott is a yes man. Dak Prescott is not the quarterback that you're going to ask about a situation like a George Ford or a Colin Kaepernick and get an honest answer. You're going to get the politically correct answer that his team drew up for him and said, "Here, say this." That's what you're going to get from him. Yeah. You're not getting a Kyrie well thought out. I've sat at home and this is what my people are going through. You're not getting that from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going to wave the white flag and stand in the middle and say, "Well, I just think that we should all get along and we should all hold hands and sing Kumbaya." That's not reality. That's just let's just keep it real. That's not reality. So I hate when people say that. Well, then why does he have a team full of white players? Ain't gonna make him the money. Let's just keep it all the way solid. We run the NFL.
Let me bud in. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Freddie. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead.
Let me say this to everybody that's here. Listen, share this. This is just our first show and the first topic. What we're doing is setting the foundation, letting you already know how this show gonna be. So I need y'all to go ahead and just share it out to anybody. There's gonna be real talk here. We welcome all comments. You do not have to agree with nobody on here. I guarantee you before this show over with, I'm not going to agree with the sensei and I'm not going to agree with Freddie. This is what it's all about. It's all about your perspective. So I need everybody on here to go ahead and share. But let me say this. Now, I believe I'm the oldest person on here. I'm 49, be 50 in February. I was raised by a man, my father, my mother, who was raised in the 50s and 60s. So forgive me if I been raised and able to see some of the racist tricks and everything, probably better than the millennial generation, because the truth of the matter is you have not seen what probably most of what I've seen, and I've lived it. Now, check this out. Y'all help me here. You don't have to be an older person to get this one. And even for my Caucasian family that are on here, check me out right here. I'm sorry, but I'm calling it like it is. And y'all know I ain't scared. Let me tell you, I haven't seen to this day, okay? I haven't seen to this day a person that's 80 years old, a white man, from the South, help me
Talk
here,
about it.
that did not have, if I lined up 10 older white men, whether they're rich or whether they're poor, I haven't seen, if I lined up 10 white men that were 80 years old from the South. I ain't talking about no white man that's 80 years old from Oregon. No. The South. I'm not talking about Utah. I'm talking about the South. And they're not racist. Out of the 10 people, it may just be one, and that is a questionable one. It was just a different time and a different way. And so to act like, to those that are saying Jerry is not a racist, well, you got to be slick and smart to understand that Jerry is incredible with the media. He knows how to finesse the media. He's been doing it a long time. He is not going to put himself in a position where you can definitely say, hey, he is a racist. It's not going to happen like that for Jerry Jones. I'm not saying he is, but what I am saying is this. There are a lot of signs that point to him leaning closer that way than the way it is to say he's not a racist. There's just too much evidence. That's not, I'm not saying he's not. Yes, he's paid black people, but that ain't saying nothing. My God, the NFL is almost 80% black. Yeah, hello. Who else you gonna pay? You can't play in the NFL without the black athlete. Come on now. There's just no way. Now you saying maybe folks say, well, Emmitt Smith wouldn't say it. Michael Irvin wouldn't say he's a racist. Nate Newton wouldn't say he's a racist. Of course they wouldn't. Jerry Jones, he didn't have to do it. There's a record on there. Deion Sanders, who we'll talk about a little bit later, would not accuse him of that, because Jerry Jones has invested in them in business after football. But Jerry about the green, y'all. If it's going to benefit him, he'll side with anybody. This is what billionaires do. Whoever can bring in the almighty dollar, black, white, Indian, whatever, he's going to do that. However, I still got the same questions, y'all. Why didn't he say anything about the George Floyd incident? Nothing. His word had power. Why didn't he say anything? Well, he complimented LeBron James. Just like Freddie said about the kneeling down. There was not a hard stance either way. Certainly he's not going to stand on the racist issue and say, yeah, I don't agree with that. No, because he don't want to be looked at like a racist, because the brand may suffer. So he knows how to throw a rock and hide, and then he just knows how to hide, period. I don't find it ironic, y'all. Listen to me. You got to point to the science now. This don't have anything to do with the N word. Why didn't anybody else from the Dallas Cowboy team speak on this picture? They only asked one player. One. You don't think DeMarcus Lawrence got something to say? As wide open as he is. You don't think Michael Parsons have something to say? I didn't hear anything from them because they weren't asked that. Because if they were asked that, it's a possibility that you would have got a different answer than Dak Prescott. And I find it ironic that nobody else was asked about this situation. Now, you can take that for however way you want to interpret it. I interpret it because you didn't want these guys to say, hey, man, I'm uncomfortable with playing for an owner like this. I'm done.
You know what, Doug? And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to actually bring that up, because Michael left a comment and he was referring to Sensei. He said, I don't agree with her comments. You're saying he's a weak black man, not a valid statement. Have you asked him the question, Michael, my brother? You don't have to ask him the question, because there's many times where Dak Prescott have folded away from those type of topics. Let's not forget. Let's bring up the same thing when we're talking about the national anthem. Guess what? Dak Prescott was one of the ones that was not willing to stand up and come out and say it, because you know why? He is on the side of Jerry Jones. He's on the side where he believes that, hey, no matter what's going on, I'm not going to deviate from what I represent from that star on my helmet. And this is the same time, same thing again. When they asked Dak Prescott didn't really answer the question. He kind of ran from it as well, just like Jerry Jones. So Dak Prescott
Look,
shows the action of that type of quarterback
y'all,
that
y'all,
he's not
y'all
going to go
really
out there.
listen. Y'all really want to get in the dirt? Okay, let's go. Let's get in the dirt right here. Watch this in. Look who they asked, Dak Prescott. The first thing that y'all pull up the interview for yourself. Dak Prescott said this: "I'm biracial." Man, we didn't ask you what you are. We just asked you about what about this picture here? So let me go on give my little sprinkling in. Now, this is what America says: if you have any drop of black blood in you,
Talk about it.
You
Talk
black.
about it.
That's what America has said for years. You could be as Caucasian as the wall in your house. If you got any drop of black blood in you, you're black. That's what they've always said. He takes the stance almost like the Tiger Woods approach. He doesn't claim it. He says, I'm biracial. Therefore, this is my opinion. He was the wrong, quote unquote, black person to ask. You understand what I'm saying? Give me the qualified black person to ask that question where you can get the real black feeling. See, as long as you're holding on to your and he is biracial, white mother, black father, so he feels like that he's connected to both. If you want to get the real feelings about this show, please go ask 100% black person. That's all I'm gonna say again. I'm through.
Yeah, and I mean, and to respond to him, I do think he's a weak black man. There are weak black men, unfortunately. That's just what it is. There's weak black women. There's weaknesses in all races. Like let's keep it 100. But yes, I do think he's a weak black man because at the end of the day, he responded here and said he's looking out for his best interest. I'm not upset with that. I'm not mad at anybody looking out for their best interest. That's what you're supposed to do. But when it comes to being like Big Time said, being black and being for our people, you don't qualify because you don't identify as that. And if you don't identify as that, people aren't going to treat you as such. Dak Prescott has walked his whole life as a white black man. You know what I'm saying? Even with that drop of blood, that don't mean nothing to him. He is a white black man. That's when people say I am biracial, that to me means don't put me over there with them. Separate me because I'm different. I stand over here, they stand over there. So you dug your line in the sand. So yes, I do believe that he's a weak black man because he's never gonna, like Big Time said, going to get in front of the podium and say, me as a black man or I as a black man feel X, Y, and Z about about blacks being killed by police for no reason, or George Floyd getting his neck crushed when he died, or I feel I understand where Colin Kaepernick is coming from, and I feel like we should. He's never going to do that. He's never going to do that. He's always going to say what is right, what he deems as right, what Jerry Jones would approve of, what white people will approve of, what will still have him in the sense of there's no controversy. He's afraid of that. He's going to run from that every single time. The same way Jerry Jones does, which is why he is Jerry Jones's quarterback. He Jerry Jones light. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's what Dak Prescott is saying is coming from the top, but it's coming from him. Because like Big Time said again, Jerry Jones has an impeccable way of hiding from things that make him uncomfortable, or that's going to put him in a bad spotlight for him to say something that would be deemed admissible or deemed disrespectful or deemed racist. That's why when he responded to LeBron, he was very careful at what he said. That's not what he really felt and what he really wanted to say. But he knew that's the wrong person you want to attack. You can't go at that guy. Because people can say whatever you want to say about LeBron James as a basketball player, but you cannot argue his activism or the way he's spoken out on issues that pertain to Black people. So Jerry Jones is smart enough to know I gotta straddle the fence with this one. I can't really say what I really want to say.
Let me be fair to Dak right here, and that's my quarterback. I got to be fair to him. See, this is the reason why I'm saying it, and I'm not disputing what the sensei is saying at all. But let's look at it from a different perspective, and I guess we'll move or whatever. But check it out. when they asked Dak this question, he was watching how money was being taken away from Kanye and Kyrie for saying quote unquote the wrong things. If you're seeing millions of dollars leaving, you got to make a decision. Either I'm going to say the corporate way or I'm going to say what I really want to say. Dak chose the corporate line. And hey, for that, can't blame him, but it kind of puts you in a rare spot with whoever people that support you, because then, as the sensei says, and from her perspective, she says he's weak. That's the kind of stuff that Dak just got to deal with, because you made a choice.
Absolutely.
You made a choice by your statement. Your answer dictated how people are going to look at you.
Absolutely.
So
and that's why I said, you know, he drew his line in the sand. He said, I'm standing over here on the side of what I feel like is right and is going to protect me for the greater good. That's fine. Yeah, and saving this money, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you are in that position. I am not. So you have to be the person to make that decision. I, however, am going to feel a way about it. So that's just what it is.
Just
you know.
Hey, y'all, I just want to say for the very first segment of the Three Shots of Podcast, it was fire. I mean, you got the realness, you got, I mean, authentic, I mean, it powerful, man. And I love having these type of conversations, and not just with my the black community, with all communities, because I love to hear different point of views from everybody. Because how do we become educated if we don't have these type of conversations? That's what's going on in the world. We're not talking about it. We're not sitting down, conversating, giving your point of view, my point of view, and hopefully that's what we want to do with this show. We want to help educate folks, but we also want the viewers to put your point, your ideas in the comments, because you never know, you might inspire somebody on the show or in the comments. So you're definitely welcome, because
you might change my mind actually.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to move to the next topic, and we're going to we talk about HBCUs and all that, what have happened most recently in the last couple of years of the change and the how it has grown and the opportunities that have been brought to the HBCU community. Um, we're going to talk about Deion Sanders. We all know what he's done in the Jackson State University, him winning the championships down there in Jackson, Mississippi. What he's done for that college, that university, for HBCUs, the attention that it brought to the national level by being recognized on TV. We've seen all that is done, but still, folks are still for some reason not giving this man his flowers. They still trying to find ways to criticize his brother from leaving Jackson State.
Mm.
Sensei, I'm gonna start with you on this one. What is your reaction for Deion leaving Jackson State and heading to Colorado?
I am happy for Deion. I'm not one of the people that was upset with Deion. I don't feel like he's a sellout. I don't feel like he. Okay, I'll say it like this, because I could see if Deion came in and said, I'm here to, which he did. I'm here to change the trajectory of HBCUs. I'm here to give us more opportunities and get us sponsorships and get us more national national attention and things of that nature. But he also always said, and this is the part people ignored, is that if an opportunity came for him to go to a Power Five or go to a Division I school, that he would entertain the opportunity. And that's what everybody is seeming to forget. Like, he already told you pretty much in a way, like, I'm doing this now. This means something to me. I am passionate about it. However, I am looking for another opportunity. And if it presents itself and makes sense to me, I'm going to go ahead and entertain that. So that's why I'm not particularly mad about him going to Colorado, because it's like, at the end of the day, this as Black people is what we want. we can't scream hire more black coaches, and then when a black coach gets an opportunity, then it's not the way that we wanted him to do it or we felt like he should do it, then it becomes, oh, he sold out, oh, he's not for the people, oh, he's no. Like, Deion has been very vocal about wanting to do something like this, wanting to get that opportunity to take his sons, or not even just even his sons, to take an opportunity to elevate himself as a coach and put the spotlight on more, getting more black people coaching opportunities, and that's what he's essentially what he's done. So I'm not mad at him for taking that opportunity. Now, I will say this: on the flip side of it, I do think he kind of sold some of them kids' dreams a little bit. And I think that's a big part of the pushback that he's getting, is because it's like he dressed it up and made it so real for Jackson State, and so now everybody's decommitting, and now it's going to go back to basically what it was. So it really didn't inflict change in a change that is long lasting. You know what I'm saying? Beyond him being there, because now everybody wants to run behind him. They all want to go with him. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like they're going to go back to being a team that nobody really cares about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to get those type of recruits ain't coming through that door. They don't got Coach Prime no more. What's the point? They came to Jackson State because they wanted to be under Coach Prime. He's no longer there anymore. So now everybody's trying to bum rush Colorado. So that would be my only pushback, I guess, about the situation. But I wasn't mad at him for taking that opportunity at all.
First of all, Tommy, like I said, we appreciate all the viewers that come on the show. I ask you respectfully not to go at anybody on the panel personal. We might have different views from one another, but none of us would ever come at you by calling you out of your name, and we respect the same. I'm just going to keep it at that. I'm gonna tell you guys, I look at it bigger. To me, Dion created more opportunities by leaving Jackson State. What else? What else did we expect him to do at Jackson State? Let's just be honest. But what I'm seeing is he's creating opportunities on the national level now. He's going to Colorado. One of the coaches, African American. What he doing? He wants to come up there with them. Kids that went to Jackson State, coming from an HBCU, transferring to go to Colorado. Um, what he's done in Jackson State, it's not done. It's going to continue to the next person who take over. But to me, he's empowered more people now on the national level because he brought the attention through Jackson State. That's the way I look at it. We tend to criticize people for wrongdoing. We see a brother here come here, donated his money in the same city, Jackson, Mississippi. Seen him come in there and install these young men, but yet we see Brett Favre do the things what he did.
Mm-hmm.
We see what he did, but we don't want to criticize him, but we gonna criticize Deion. Pick a side, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this brother here is doing it the right way, but you criticize him because he left. Let me question yourself this. Whenever there's a better opportunity, approach yourself. Are you just gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna take the better opportunity? Most folk in society takes the better society. He was getting paid way less than Jackson State, but now he's getting paid big time. But you have a problem with that. I have a problem with that thinking. Like I said, he's empowered a lot of people with HBCUs, and he's going to continue to empower them, but on the big stage. The shout out, Anthony, Big AC. What's up, my brother, Big Dog? All right, Doug.
Y'all ain't ready for me. See, I'm just gonna tell you right now. See, this is what I can't stand. All right, what I can't stand is, I can't stand white folks mentality, and then I can't stand black folks mentality. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Number one, here's the thing: when Lane Kiffin kept moving from college to college. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said, but just welcome and hey, he following the money, and nobody said nothing. Here's the problem. What I got, I call this right now almost a seesaw type thing. White folks didn't have a problem with Deion Sanders at Jackson State at all. They didn't have no problem with him because he was quote unquote down there. He was down there. It ain't no big deal. He getting only $300,000. They're really not a threat. If he shines, he shines. If he does, whatever. He's not bothering us. Go ahead and be prime time. Go ahead and do all the videos. We ain't got no problem with you. But here's the caveat. Don't come up here now. Don't be talking about no Power 5 school now. Because, see, you need to stay down there in the good old SWAC. When you start coming up here, now we got a problem. White folks do. You done seen, if you've been watching your timelines, you'll notice that the complaints are now coming from white people. They are trying their best to keep Deion, don't come up here, stay down there. We had no problem with you. Now all of a sudden you coming up here, now they're joining in on the Deion hate parade. Because we don't want you to come up here because, see, I want my school, Alabama, to make sure I get these recruits here so we can go back and win that championship. Deion, you gonna mess that up. Because we know you're gonna steal some folks away from us. So you need to stay down there. Here go black folks. Black folks didn't have no problem with Deion. That was the up. Now here comes the down part. Black folks got a problem with Deion moving up. It's the old crab mentality. Wait a minute. You're supposed to stay down here with us. You don't supposed to with us. You supposed to, white folks wanted to keep them down. Black folks want to bring them back down. You need to keep making this $300,000. You don't need to be talking about making $5 million a year. Because, see, everybody was on Deion's side when he was at Jackson State. Now, all of a sudden, because he's elevating, obviously, now all of a sudden, it's a big problem. These are the same folks who going crazy over 20 cents on their hourly raise at the job. You would be fighting over your money, a 10-cent raise on your job, and you have a problem with Deion making some more money. He doing the same thing. You cheered him at Jackson State, but as long as he was giving $150,000 back to the SWAC, you didn't have no problem. Now all of a sudden, he done elevated to 5. He got the same swag. Deion ain't changed his swag in 30 years. He's the same guy. Now all of a sudden, it's a major league problem that he's leaving to Colorado. The sensei said something about selling the dream. The kids and parents ought to know, and I sympathize with the kids who went there strictly for Deion. You got to understand how the coaching game works. And let me ask y'all this question. I really don't have to ask the question because I know the answer. If you're making $300,000 a year, can we be honest tonight?
Yes, we can.
$300,000 and somebody want to pay you $5.5 or whatever million to do the same thing.
Where we sending the money to? That's all I'm asking.
Which one you gonna take? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna send my banking and routing number right away.
Thank you. So let's be real here. Deion did absolutely nothing wrong. He did not. He changed Jackson, Mississippi. He changed that culture down there. He changed the football program. He made everything better when he left there. He has the right. Hello, listen to me, everybody. This applies to all your life. You have the right to elevate yourself.
Absolutely.
And if these crab mentality folks want to pull you down, you better find a way to stomp on them so you can go on up higher. And as far as my white brothers and sisters who are now joining in the Deion Bash thing, you just scared. You scared. Because Alabama not going to get that player. Clemson is not going to get this particular player. TCU, I'm just going down. My favorite school, Michigan. Some of these players are going to go to Colorado now. And you're upset about that because, matter of fact, you are, if you're checking the recruiting battle out already, some of these huge schools are already losing to Deion in recruiting. They're Notre Dame just lost a 5-star running back. And you on here, help me. He's a 4-star, 5-star. He decommitted from the almighty Notre Dame just to go play in Colorado. See, that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want. And so it was good for Jackson State. It ain't good for Colorado now. No, you need to go back down there where you were going. You need to go back down there. Don't come up here with your prime and your gold chains and all that. Don't come up here. Don't do that. Stay down there in the sweat. And as far as the sensei saying, one thing has already happened already, whether you know it or not. He took away, as part of his new staff, he brought the Mississippi Valley State head coach, join him on his staff in Colorado. Here's a quick question. Now I digress. If Deion didn't do that, do you think they would have hired that black coach on this type of level? Anybody else? Would Nick Saban hire him? No. Would Dabo Swinney sign him? No. I mean, come on now. Deion, everywhere he has went, he has elevated not only the place. Look here. They just did the thing. Colorado has gained over 250,000 new followers. You think it was because of that Buffalo that run out there? Do you think it was the leading squad? Do you think it was because of that beautiful statement? No. It was because of Deion Sanders, and everywhere he goes, he shines. So forget what folks say. He didn't do nothing wrong. God bless him. Go on win Colorado.
Let me just piggyback real quick off of Big Time real quick. Sorry, Freddie, before you go.
No, you good.
I wanna point out something that I just thought about as Big Time was going on. People were scared of him already at Jackson State because if you remember, I'm gonna just bring up a little Snapple fact here. Nick Saban, no, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody asked him to do this. This was just completely unfiltered. Him just saying what he felt at the time. Had already taken shots at Deion. He was already scared. He was already nervous because once they got Travis Hunter to decommit from FSU to come to Jackson State of all places, the shift happened then. They were nervous then because it's like if he can get that at Jackson State, what do you think he's going to get at a Division I school that has the money, that has the resources, that has the the power of recruitment, and he's prime time? What kid don't want to play for prime time? Prime time can sell salt to a snail. You know what I'm saying? Like if you allow prime time to get into your home and he meeting the parents, meeting the moms and the grandmoms and the cousins and the whoever, somebody in that house know prime time. They don't know Deion. Somebody in that house know prime time. So it's the fact that my kid has the opportunity to go play for that guy, knowing how successful Deion got a gold jacket. Like that speaks for itself. So the shift was already happening. The Power 5 schools were already nervous and scared of him at Jackson State because he had already proven that he could, with limited resources, what he could do. Now we about to really see a shift now. And that's the last thing that they want. They don't want what college football has been and what it has been presented as this, neat, tidy, and the white coaches that's been dominating for the past 20 some years, and they stay getting the top recruits, and they don't want the shift of power to they don't want balance. They want that power to stay where, you know what I'm saying, between the Dabo Sweeneys and the Nick Sabans and, you know what I'm saying, the LSUs and the, like, they want that power to stay between them. So the fact that now it's an even playing field, watch what I say. They're gonna try any and everything to get Deion up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee, or they're gonna just try to make it difficult for him.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, just to close out this topic, I'm gonna say it again. We criticize this man for elevating himself into a better situation, but we don't want to say anything about Brett Favre, who've used the system, who used people that's below him. But we don't want to criticize him. We have to be consistent, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we have to pick right. I mean, I know it's hard to choose right, but we have to choose right. And this all this brother's done doing is empowering not just him, but others as well. Coaches on the coaching level, players that probably would have never had the opportunity to go play for the national side of things, but always going to be stuck in HBCUs. Um, Deion Sanders made that possible. His legacy in the HBCUs will always be remembered. I believe that he's still going to continue to help them. And like I said, hey, much love to you, Prime Time. You continuing to win off the field for good things. Um, hey, I agree with this, Ron. He's about to have. Hey, I agree with that comment right there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ron. What's up,
Mm-hmm.
brother?
Yep. Shout out Ronskis.
But man, it seemed like this. Yeah, it seemed like this is the show with a bunch of controversy. On last week, hey,
Freddie, a show with
I
me and
love
you, a show with me and you having controversy? No way.
Yes, hey, hey. But I'm definitely ready for this next topic. Yes, we're going to talk about one of the WNBA star, Brittney Griner. Has been in jail for a little about a year now on Russia soil. We remember she got called at the airport with the vape pen, whatever, and we all know it was a political act. Let's just call it what we see it, how we see it. Let's
Mhm.
be honest. They did free her. The United States made an agreement with a prisoner swap. Um, Doug, what is your reaction to this? Like, are you happy? Are you for? Because I know there's some folks on the black side is not for it. There's some on the white side that's not for it. Um, there's some that was for it. Or where do you stand at?
Um, I'm happy she home because, as you just said right then and there, it was political. It's I understand. I understand. I really do get it. I understand that the Russian rules or the way that they do things is totally different than from the United States of America. I get all that. But we all know. And we all know this was a Vladimir Putin thing. We all know that he used Brittney Griner because of the desperation that America was showing, how bad they wanted her back home. And he used that to his advantage. And he knew how bad we wanted them. We traded away. Russia actually, if you want to say who won and who lost the trade, it really don't make no difference. What they got back was a person who hates Americans, from what we understand. They traded and got him back, who kills Americans. I'm sorry. That's who they traded for. So they bring him back, and we all know that when it comes to America, Vladimir Putin, with the exception of our last president, prior to our last president, wasn't too fond of America. When Donald Trump went in, everything all of a sudden they buddy. Now all of a sudden he gone, we back to hating Americans. So the way I look at it is that it was political. They used that lady to gain what they had. A lot of people kept calling out a different gentleman named Paul. I forgot his name. Warren.
Paul Whelan.
Paul Whelan. I'm sorry. Uh, but but Russia negotiated the deal. They said simply, it's either Brittney Griner or you're getting nothing. So with
Mm-hmm.
those are saying, why you go get her? Why you look? We ain't had nothing to do with it. We didn't have anything to do with it. They made the terms. We just made the swap. We've been begging to get some folks saying they did it for political reasons. Joe Biden needed this and all. Look, Russia made the deal. Which y'all hush. Russia made the deal. What else were we gonna do? Of course she's coming home. So I didn't have no problem. I'm happy that she got there. I'm glad she's back home. They're providing for her mental counseling, all this type of stuff that, this was a traumatic experience for her. And
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. It's good that she's back. For what she did, everybody, it's up to you. If you want to say it was right on time or she should have got more, that's on you. I ain't knocking you. But most of us say, that's a little bit too harsh, her what she had to go through. But I'm glad she's back home and ain't nothing nobody can do about it now. So stop crying and move on to the next thing.
I'm not gonna be long because I know Sensei's gonna really want to dive into this, but I'm just gonna put my little 2 cents on the other gentleman that everybody keep crying, talking about we need to get Paul. What about Paul? Let me ask you a question, and I'm just gonna answer just a simple question. Before Brittany got in there, before people's call was while people was calling for her to get out there, I've never heard nobody say forget Paul too. I've never heard that before. I've never heard
Like,
that. Two, they did try to get him. Even yet, Donald Trump tried to get him. The Trump administration failed in getting him as well. So, what were they supposed to do?
Stop
I
right
mean,
there, Frank. Stop right there. Hold up.
mm,
You just said, what about Donald Trump now? They tried to what?
they tried to make a work out a deal with him as well, and they didn't
Watch
work.
this though. Watch this. Donald Trump showed and tried to go get Brittney Griner, did he? I
I
stopped.
mean, hey, no, you speaking facts, bro.
whew, you know what?
You're spitting facts. And let's just be honest. Like it was a vape pen. So I'm just glad that she's able to come home. They didn't torture her anywhere where she's missing any fingers, hand, or anything like that. Um, I'm just glad she's able to go home to her family right around the holiday times. I'm thankful, and I'm just gonna say this one last thing. And if you want this stuff, I hear people say, "Oh, why is she over there in the first place?" Because of you not wanting to support the WNBA, because of you not wanting to invest money into it, just like you invest in the NFL and the NBA. She has to make a living as well. So this should encourage everybody to start. Let's start investing in them. Let's start supporting them. Start showing up to games, and hopefully they don't have to go that route anymore. Hopefully they don't have to go over. They don't have to go away from our country to take care of their families. Sensei, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off with what I have to say, and I really don't care. Um, I want to start with something that I feel like is very important as it pertains to this. Are people who are when stories and things come out, I need for us to fully make sure that we're reading the details because I feel like reading is reading comprehension is something that's lost on most Americans. Let's keep it a stack. Like we'll see a headline and most people just read the headline. They don't read the facts of the story that follows the headline. They just look at the headline. I've saw a lot of this as it pertains to this Brittney Griner situation because the moment she was released, then it became like Freddie said, oh, well, what about Paul Whelan? Nobody ever mentioned Paul Whelan prior to this. I didn't even know that there was the situation with Paul Whelan until this situation happened. And everybody all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, well, what about Paul Whelan? We are comparing a man who was convicted, whether he did it or not. That's not my business. I'm not a lawyer or a judge. Espionage to a vape pen. What are we talking about here? Like this man is has been accused of wronging the military, which is damn near a death sentence in America, to a vape pen? Are we joking right now? Like, are we really serious? Brittney Griner, granted, what she did was wrong, and granted, she should have known that, Russia has a lot stricter rules as it pertains to weed, things of that nature. Fine. There's no way on earth you are going to convince me that she deserved 9 years for that. None whatsoever. What happened was she got caught in the beginning of a war, and Russia wanted to make a statement. We got one of y'all's. What are y'all willing to do to come and get her? That, and they really put the U.S. in a lose-lose situation because they knew they had the leverage. So let's, we're gonna offer what we want, take it or leave it. Was she supposed to sit and rot in jail because of Paul Whelan? Who, like I said, most of y'all don't give a damn about Paul. Never gave a damn about Paul Whelan prior to this situation happening, and probably if he was to get out, y'all wouldn't give a damn about him then. Trump mentioned Paul Whelan because he's upset that Brittney Griner's free because she kneeled for the national anthem and she quote unquote hates America. You never mentioned Paul Whelan while you were in office. You had opportunities to get Paul Whelan out. You were friends with the Russian government. Why didn't you flex your power to get him out? If you cared that much, why did you flex your power to get him out? Now all of a sudden, that's somebody that you don't approve of because she's black, she's a woman, and she's homosexual. Now all of a sudden, it's Paul Whelan, and what about his family, and what about? Shut up! I don't want to hear none of that. Y'all are weird. At the end of the day, there's no reason that woman should have been in jail for that long. Shouldn't have had to go to a concentration camp. Shouldn't have had her cut off her hair because her locks were literally freezing. Like and that's just the stuff that we know. Imagine what we didn't see. So it's like, what are we really discussing? And I really cannot stand when it comes to Black women, especially. We are critiqued and criticized the harshest. We are at the lowest of the low of the totem pole.
Wow.
So when stuff happens to us, we are supposed to just be strong and take accountability. And no. I'm not gonna allow that.
Yeah.
Like I said, what she did was a crime to, you know what I'm saying, as far as in Russia. It does not deserve 9 years. It doesn't. And it shouldn't have took this long to get her out, but she was used as a pawn, as we all know. And that's what happened. But I get really frustrated when I see certain things and people say certain things and how they respond to certain situations as it pertains to Black people, but especially when it's Black women, especially. We've got to find a common medium to where Black women shouldn't have to always be innocent until proven guilty, or guilty until proven innocent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to go through hell and high water. We got to give you a PowerPoint presentation breakdown as to why we deserve just fair judgment. Fair judgment.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just, I mean, I could go on for hours about this topic, so because I know you guys want to chime in as well. But I'm happy that she's home. I'm happy that she's back with her family, and I just hope that she is getting all of the mental counseling that she needs, because I can only imagine what she went through.
You know, like I said, I love having these conversations. With just talking in general, because like I said, I knew this was going to be a very tough situation for you, and not just tough. I just know you was going to break it down in a way that probably me and Doug just can't, because you are a woman, you are a female, you're a young Black woman at that, and just imagine what Brittney Griner had to go through in this last year. And all I'm gonna say is, us as Americans, we have to do better. You're into sports. If you watch the NBA, support the WNBA. Watch a game. Go to a game. Buy merchandise. Support them, because they're not getting paid the way that they deserve to get paid. I'm not saying they deserve to get NBA money. I'm not saying that, but they do deserve to get paid better than what they're getting paid now. Let's just be honest. And this year, when the WNBA was a big step, had the biggest ratings, the biggest views they ever have had. But when this upcoming season come around, let's make sure we're continuing that same level of
Right.
giving them love. And I'm just thankful to God that Brittney Griner was able to come home safe. Um, I mean, she's going to be hurt mentally, but
Hmm.
at least physically, and she's still alive and she's at
Right.
home.
Right. And yeah, that's the most important part. Like I said, for me, is like I know mentally, God knows like I said, what that woman has had to endure. Like she was in Russia for 9 months in a jail. Like, I mean, when it first came out, she was in a cell that was too small. The beds were too small. Like it was just all these things. Like, and that's just the first jail she went to. That's not even mentioning the concentration camp that she was at for the remainder months until up until this point where she got out. And I just can only imagine. But I want to say something really quick too before I know Big Time you probably
Mhm.
want to chime in too. But salute to her wife. Like we gotta put the ultimate respect on her wife. Sherelle Griner made it a point to not let Brittney Griner's name die. Because
Mhm.
if she had not applied pressure the way that she did, Brittney Griner would be sitting still in jail, and people probably would have moved on with their lives and forgot about it, and whatever. But she refused to let that happen. I know she just passed the bar to be an attorney, or either an attorney or a lawyer. I'm not sure which one, but she's in the field of law. Sis is gonna have a very bright career because she did her due diligence to make sure her wife came home.
Hey, Ron, that's what the Three Shots of Podcast is for. We're here to have those hard conversations. We're here to have those touchy conversations because there's a lot of people that's afraid to dive into these type of conversations because they're afraid what the viewers might think, how they might judge them. But I'm gonna just tell you, we don't care. Hey, we're all about right, and we're going to put our opinions out there. You like it, good. If you don't, hey, we're sorry, but you're going to respect it because we're going to give it. That's one thing about this show. There's going to be a lot of sports conversations, going to be a lot of sports debate, but when there's real situations like this going on in the world, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And let me add this to it, because see, y'all dancing around it. I'm sorry. Sensei, I appreciate your perspective, and Freddie, I appreciate your perspective. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you just gotta call it like it is. All right.
Come on, Big
Here,
Time.
here, here, here I come right here. Here I come. Number one, she's a triple crown threat.
Mhm.
Here's
Mhm.
the triple crown. Number one, she's a woman.
Mhm.
Number two, she's a black woman.
Mhm.
Number three, she's a homosexual woman.
Mhm.
And so, to you people that know that she was a pawn in the game,
Mhm.
but you want to still hold on to the saying that why didn't we go get Paul? Do you understand, Sensei and Freddie, that there are actually people mad that this woman is even just out of jail, period?
Hmm.
Yeah, I've seen it. I got
Watch,
into it with
watch
quite a
this.
few of them.
And you're so elementary because and me being a assistant pastor and just preached today. I just preached today. I'm still hot from this morning. Listen to me. Let me give some of you some bad news. That's gonna be
Excuse me.
bad news for you, but it's the truth. Some of y'all are saying, I've seen this before, y'all. I've seen this in chats. I've been in all type of chats. I just read it. Some of people were saying that the reason why that she still was still locked up was because it is her payment for her homosexual sin, and
Wow.
act as if
No,
it's
I didn't see
God
that one.
doing it. Oh, I saw it. I
I didn't
saw it and
see
I
that
just
one.
looked at it. Let me give y'all this real quick
So they,
so
so they,
you can
so,
understand.
so, so Doug, let me ask you a question. They think they God. They think they can.
Yes,
Condemn
yes,
people pretty much in a sense.
yes,
Like,
yes. Yeah. Let
okay.
me
Okay.
give you a hard fact to some of y'all, and this just doesn't apply to what she does in her bedroom and what she who her wife is and all that kind of stuff. Can I tell y'all something real crazy that's gonna be crazy for y'all? God loves her too.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds strange. Now watch this. He hates the sin. He does hate the sin, but he loves her.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as she's breathing, she has a chance to rectify, at least from her religious perspective, on what she needs to do. Now, here it is right here.
Ron.
Yeah. You're gonna need one. So it's a Bible proves what he felt about homosexuality, but we ain't gonna talk about that because I don't want to run y'all off and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying look at the strikes against her. She's a woman, a black woman, number two. And then you do throw in the sin that she has. There are people, and I'm talking about people mentality now. Shame on you for knowing that she's a pawn in the game, but then you still want to take the side of saying she should stay in jail. It's shame on you. You're that is totally ridiculous when you know what's right. And the shame on all these politicians who are saying, this is just for the Democrats and all that. See, everything ain't about Democrat and Republican. It's some things are just about being morally right and doing the right thing. It is. We know it's political. We already know that. We knew that the situation was political. But the bottom line is she shouldn't have been in there for that long for that. That's the bottom line. That is the truth. And we just need to start letting that go. I know we all got different perspectives. I know we got all outlooks on things, but sometimes you just got to call it like it is. She's a woman. She's a black woman. And a lot of people can't get past that she's married to another woman and all that type of stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with her laying in a jail cell. That's just the bottom line. Don't try to twist it and bring it all together. No. She was in there because of what she had. Russia did all this kind of stuff. She did not deserve that amount of time for that. If we could just be honest about that situation. Some folks just don't some folks just want people to rot. You see what I'm saying? That's how some people are. There's a lot of people who think that way, especially the black woman. I'm just saying. That's all.
Come on now. Listen, and this is why I say people like Dak Prescott take the stance that they take as far as being politically correct because of stuff like this. Brittney Griner was in a situation that any one of us could have been in. And even in America, we could be wrongfully convicted for something that, maybe wasn't that serious or just be wrongfully convicted, period. How many people we know or, vicariously have lived through that have been, racially profiled or wrongfully convicted of something or gotten a harsher punishment than the next person. Like we all could be Brittney Griner. Even in America, we all could be Brittney Griner. And this is why, like I said, people like Dak Prescott take that precedent because it's like, oh, I don't want to rub any shoulders or I don't want to piss people off or I don't want to rub people the wrong way. Brittney Griner took a stand for what she believed in. Separate the fact that she's black, she's a woman, and she's a homosexual. She took a stand up for what she believes in. Now you combine that with the fact that she's a black woman, she's a homosexual. I mean, you might as she's everything but a child of God to most people.
Yeah.
Because and what I'm saying, like that's the consistent consensus, that I saw mostly when she got out is she hates America. She hates America. Not once did Brittney Griner say she hated America. She said she did not like certain things about America as far as how black people are treated, how women are treated.
And let's be honest, Sensei.
She wasn't wrong.
But Sensei, let's be honest. Have America shown her the love that they should have?
Absolutely. I'll take it a step further. Her college coach, Kim Mulkey, is a very vile, evil person. Now, I'm not sure if y'all know much about Kim Mulkey, but I will give you a briefing, just real quick here. Brittney Griner was told to suppress her sexuality at her college for 4 years, a college that she brought a national championship to, a college that she brought top recruits to, because wasn't nobody trying to go to Baylor before Brittney Griner got there. Brittney Griner made Baylor a successful program. She was told to suppress because her coach is a Christian with very strong religious values and morals and ideology. right?
Mm-hmm.
So Brittney Griner couldn't tell the world that she was gay until she got to the WNBA
Mm-hmm.
because of her coach. Her coach, when Brittney Griner got locked up, they asked her directly, "What are your comments about Brittney Griner?" Being that this is a woman who has been under you for 4 years, brought you an undefeated season and a national title and top recruits. That woman had not a single comment about her.
Mm-hmm.
No, free Brittney Griner. No, I know the kind of person she is. I know her character. No, we should be doing more. Hell, Don Staley only coached Brittney Griner in the Olympics, and she was more vocal than Kim Mulkey was.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't tell you, like, come on, this is a woman who brought prominence to your program. You could not take the time out of your day to say, hey, as the person who's coached this woman for 4 years, this is not right. This is not okay. Free Brittney. That's all you, even if you didn't feel that, that's all you had to say. But no, she represents the majority of the people that are upset, that are angry that Brittney Griner is free, because that is the mentality that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's why they feel like she deserved to be there.
Yeah. And a lot of people just not going to tell the truth. Everybody can kind of dance around and give the surface value. But what Sensei is saying is really what everybody knows, but you won't say it because most of us are corporate type people, and we're going to say and do the right things. But the truth of the matter is, this woman had a lot of strikes against her over this. It's just the bottom line. She did, and she paid a price
Yep.
for being those 3 or 4 different strikes that you done heard from Sensei and myself.
Man, hey, Doug, I'm sorry to cut you off, man. I want to shout out to my dude. This dude, don't know Gene, you need to get to know him. Wednesday nights, wire to wire. He is the
Hey, shout out
realest
Gene. He
dude
been
that
holding it
you
down.
will meet. Hey, he's the realest dude that you will meet. That's my brother. He speaks for real. He don't care. Hey, he don't judge you by your color of your skin. He don't judge you, boy, woman, girl, man, whatever. He comes at you 100%. Be real all the time.
I respect that, honestly and truly. Like I said, I've been getting into it with people through all kinds of chats and messages. Ron, probably more than anybody, because I was on fire when she got released, because there were so many people that were upset that and I don't understand that. Like I really, but I get why, because that's just how people unfortunately think. But it's just insane to me that we're really trying to justify that woman getting 9 years for a vape pen.
Yeah.
Like, or being upset that she's home and with her family. Like, I could understand if she shot somebody, or if she stole something from a kid, or sexually abused somebody. I totally look, I get it. A vape pen though. And let me just say this, let me throw this out there too, because I've seen a lot of men especially say, oh well, she's a criminal, she's an abuser. If you still watch Floyd Mayweather fights, tuck that abuser claim in, please and thank you.
Wow.
That's a repeated offender. If we're gonna go there, let's make sure we go all the way there. If you still listening to R. Kelly albums, tuck that abuser in.
Matter of fact, he dropped one yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, they took it off Apple quick though. They yanked it right on back off.
If you're still out here watching the Cosby Show, you might want to tuck that one in too. I mean, like if we really want to go down the list of criminals.
If you waving that terrible tile.
If you waving that terrible,
you cheered Ben Roethlisberger for 20 years. Hello.
Come on now.
If you cheer for Rick Pitino, for
come on now,
locking up that girl back there in that bathroom,
y'all still repping for Penn State?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like let's like I said, if we gonna go there now, let's go. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Everybody loves Mike Tyson, but we forget. Come on now.
Champ, the champ.
What we doing here? But I'm just saying, like, people get high and mighty when I'm
Ooh,
saying, and want to sweep things under the rug.
ooh, look at my brother Gary. Look at what he said. Pop that one up there,
Now,
Freddie.
Kobe Bryant as well. And
Oh,
listen, rest
oh
in peace,
my.
Kobe Bryant. But as well,
Look over that
listen,
last one. Ooh wee.
listen.
Ooh
If
wee.
we're gonna go down the list of crime and criminals and what was done wrong, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way.
Mm.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. We better let it go before we get in trouble on the social media
Listen, I ain't
calendar.
scared of nobody. I ain't
We
scared.
better stop, y'all. We better stop. I already see it.
No, he didn't. I will
Man,
bring him
oh
out. Actually, I'm about to be done.
Ooh
I
wee.
can bring him out if you want.
ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
boys and girls of all ages, when I tell you that
Yeah,
this
I
was
got
a
you.
great first show, like I think hey, we touched it all. I mean, from the Jerry Jones to the Deion and to the Brittney Griner. I mean, I don't know what else we could have done in the episode. I mean, you talking about controversy. We touched it all. Literally touched it all.
I ain't scared of nobody. No, I'm just playing. No, this was a great first episode, honestly, guys. And if this is what it's gonna be every time, then man, look out, because we can take over the world with this one.
It's look, let me give a pre-warning as we try to cool down now. We may have to have a cool down moment or something, y'all. Look, if you're soft on your feelings, you might not want to watch us. Let me take that back. We want y'all to watch us because we
Maybe you
value
toughen up a little bit.
well, I'm saying we value your opinion.
Yeah.
We value, we ain't gonna get to the name call and all that type of stuff. That ain't what we do. It's just our perspective is our, and we're not saying we're right, but we ain't saying we're wrong either. It's up to you to kind of be the judge and throw in your comments. And like I said before, all of us are open minded. And if we have a stance, I'm willing to say, you know what, you just changed my mind. That's how I feel about it, and I will do that. But you have to understand that the time has come. Freddie said it earlier, y'all, and I'll get out the way. If we don't have these conversations, there can be no growth. You have to grow. And sometimes the only way you're gonna grow unless you really go underneath that surface value stuff, and let's really dig in and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If it walk like a duck, act like a duck, it ain't no kangaroo. You understand me? It's not. You gotta call stuff like it is, and you just gotta simply deal with it the best way you know how. Last time I checked, if we talk these things out, we can, grow together. So I hope that you guys will share this first episode. I think it was outstanding. And hey, sooner or later, if our CEO here, Mr. Freddie, we just about need to go and crank up a YouTube page as well for this podcast and see what's gonna happen with that, because I think this is gonna be kind of crazy. So I appreciate all y'all that tuned in with us tonight.
Definitely.
Hey, I just want to say this. When I approached Doug about this show, he said, "Let's do," because me and Doug have our own kind of history. He does that cowboy show, the big time show, whatever. And I've been trying to be a guest since I had to call in on this show to put him. If he won't let me be a guest to show my face, I had to do a little call in to get on his show. But I approached him. He said, "Okay, let's plan it out." And we had to find that third piece to the show. And I thought about it, and the first name came to mind was Cindy, because I know how talented she is. Even though she's covering the Sacramento Queens. Get your belt out. uh, now you still rooting for the Lakers now, are you? I mean, I just had to
Oh,
ask
for
that
sure.
question.
Listen, for sure. I
Good.
just can't tell them that when I'm in the media room, but absolutely. Absolutely.
Like that.
I'm still right. I'm still right there. But I gotta do my job. I gotta do my job. I gotta keep it professional. But what I'm saying, they know.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Fred, before you close it out. Let me tell y'all this. If this was the first show, good Lord, what are we gonna talk about next?
Hey, shout out Key. I appreciate
you. Let me get my sound. There you go. Hey. What are we gonna talk about next, y'all? My goodness.
Listen, I just want to say I'm happy to be a part of this show. This show was great. The first episode was amazing. I think we got a great crew here. We got great chemistry, and we're gonna build something great. And I'm excited to be a part of it. So everybody, make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all lock in, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we gonna come with it every time.
Yeah.
You can check us out next Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. Next Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. Stay tuned.
4 p.m. West Coast time if you're on the West Coast.
Until next
if you're on the West Coast like me, 4 p.m. West Coast time.
Yeah, time zones, different time zones.
Yes, indeed.
But until next time, y'all, we're out of here.